Coming right up, Straight Talk with Art Levine. Our guests tonight, director Carl De Silva and actor Carl Schott, as we continue our 23rd anniversary year.
Straight Talk is brought to you in part by the Port of Long Beach, a leader in international trade and environmental stewardship. And the Press Telegram, your local news leader for over 100 years. And Scan Health Plan, for your health and independence.
Join us for tonight's edition of Straight Talk. And now your host, Art Levine.
Good evening and welcome to Straight Talk. We have a great show for you tonight, focused on the arts. Our first guest is Carl De Silva. Carl, welcome back to Straight Talk.
Thank you, Art.
Carl has been directing the show, playing at the Long Beach Playhouse, the American classic with Willie Loman. You all know it. It is
Death of a Salesman.
Death of a Salesman, one of the greats of the American stage, and I guess it's a thrill to work with material that powerful.
It makes all the difference because you're going to be living with the material for quite a long time. You're going to be reading it many, many times. You'll be working on it for months even before you cast. So it is very helpful when you're able to actually love the piece and relate to it, and it's such a masterful piece of literature. It's amazing.
It's been part of our culture for over 60 years.
Yes.
And your production is wonderful. I was there opening night, and powerful production. We'll meet Willie in the next segment, but you are both an actor and a director, and you've been in the business for 35 plus years. Which do you prefer, acting or directing?
I prefer directing now. I think I underwent a personality change. When I was younger, I needed a lot more attention, and I wanted to be in front of the cameras, so to speak.
Yes.
And now I am actually quite pleased to be behind it, and I really enjoy directing and participating in the creative process, but not necessarily being up there in front of it.
But you don't view it as a puppeteer pulling the strings from.
No. It's a collaboration of so many different artists and skills, and I'm just the the production manager.
There are a lot of different ways to present given scenes and all, and I guess as director you have the final say, but you don't use the stripes on your arm to get it a certain way. As you said a moment ago, a collaborative process, so you listen to your actors and you incorporate some of their ideas.
Absolutely. It's a dialogue. Like you said, the only difference is that I do have the final word. But it is a dialogue, and many ideas were incorporated in this show from actors and different people. And some ideas I didn't, but it's part of the idea for a director is that you have to have a overall vision, and then part of our job is to be able to stick to that vision. So some of the ideas sometimes comes from the outside, and they don't quite fit into that vision. So it's your job to say, well, but sometimes that idea leads you to another idea. So then everything is
but the
positive.
vision has to stay consistent with
Right.
itself, and you're responsible for seeing that the ship's sailing in a certain direction.
Correct.
And not
Otherwise you end up with a
potpourri,
quilt of different patches, and it won't work.
And we'll be meeting Willie, Carl Schott, in the next segment, but one of your responsibilities as director is casting the show. Talk about that.
Yeah, that's an interesting process for this particular show. We saw 73 different people that came into the audition.
73 people for how many roles?
For 12.
For 12 roles.
For 12 roles. And so these were 3 very long nights, and it's a very, very serious and difficult part of the director's job, because essentially half of the work is done on that process, because what the actor is going to bring to it is so important that the casting is vital. And I was very lucky with this cast, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a great cast through and through. No matter what size role, they are all awesome.
Well, I was there opening night, as you know, and I saw the production, and Willie Loman lived.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, knocked that out of the ballpark as far as I'm concerned.
But 70 plus actors, and they don't get paid much, if at all, but actors need to work. If they're not performing in front of an audience, they're not acting. It's just a rehearsal, but it's not a performance.
That's correct. It's it's what drives them. It's what they want to do. They're either doing to practice or to hone their skill, or to sometimes to be seen by an agent, by a manager, to further their career, networking. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why people would do that, but you're right. In this case, there's no pay.
I know the Playhouse is the oldest continually performing playhouse west of the Mississippi, 85 plus years.
Right.
And some folks are there because they love to act. They have day jobs, but they love to act.
Right.
And what you call recreational acting.
Right.
And others are more serious about their careers and are moving.
Correct.
And want to use this as a stepping stone. And they both add to the mix.
Yeah, it's a very interesting mix because you get people like Carl who are very experienced, and then you get people that are starting to actually break into the theater. So you as a director, that becomes kind of an interesting challenge.
Sure.
Because you're working with people that have maybe done 2-3 plays in the past, and then people like Carl who has a vast resume. So you end up with this interesting mix, which is it's actually stimulating but a challenge at the same time.
Okay, folks, coming up in the next segment, you won't want to miss this. Willie Loman joins us, a.k.a. Call Shot. We'll be right back.
At the Port of Long Beach, we're not only delivering jobs, smart ideas, and forward-thinking environmental initiatives, we're also delivering opportunity for all of Southern California. Oh, and a clearer horizon line. To learn more, go to POLB.com, the Port of Long Beach, thinking outside the docks.
At Performance Plus Tire, you'll find we carry Toyo tires. For over 50 years, Toyo has been a world leader in the development of high-quality tires. Optimum performance, safety, and a comfortable ride. That's what makes Toyo tires great. And now come into Performance Plus Tire for a great deal on these Toyo tires. Proxys ST, Open Country AT, and Proxys 4. Toyo tires, driven to perform. Come in today and we'll install new Toyo tires on your vehicle while you wait. Performance Plus Tire on Cherry Avenue, 1 mile north of the 405 in Long Beach.
We're back, joined now by actor Carl Schott, who plays Willie Loman in the wonderful production of Death of a Salesman. And Carl, you were just wonderful as Willie Loman. You were there.
Thank you. Well, I have a lot of good people to bounce off. One man does not make a show. Every part of it makes it memorable, and I had a lot of good other parts.
And the show is over 2 hours long, and you're on stage for probably over 90% of it. And you stay in character for over 2 hours.
You get into a groove. It's like a marathon runner. I now know why marathon runners love marathons. You get to the end of it and you're going, oh my gosh, I'm completely exhausted. And then about next day you're like, let's do it again.
Director Carl, choosing the actor to play Willie Loman is critically important choice, right?
Oh my God!
Without a believable Willie, the whole thing collapses.
Yeah, there's no reason to even get started if you don't have a Willie for this piece. Every part is important, obviously, but Willie literally carries the show. And I joke around that Willie is the American Hamlet, right? I mean,
yeah.
This is an amazing part and very difficult. Carl does a great job, and without him, I mean, we really, literally wouldn't have a show.
And you have worked with Carl in an earlier production.
Yes, Waiting for Godot.
Waiting for Godot, yeah. Well, Carl, what does it mean when you're playing a role in an American classic like Salesman versus other roles? I mean, when the play is that powerful, it probably is uplifting to the actor.
Well, I tell the story that when I got cast, the cast list came out and it was online, and I told my wife, "Here, you tell me." And she went, "You got the part." And we all went, "Yay, all right, we got the part." And then it sinks in that you went, "Oh my God, what did I just get myself into?" Because it is such an iconic American icon. Yeah. You're going to be Willie Loman. And like you said, an American Hamlet, or I've also heard it called the domestic Lear. King Lear, the domesticized.
Yeah. That fits.
And you start to realize you are playing something that many greats have done, and you want to do it right. Yeah, because it's scary at one point. You go, "Oh my God, what did I just get myself into?"
And
Why?
Arthur Miller wrote something that is iconic, and you want to be respectful to that.
Yeah, and you don't want to be the one who gets Willie Loman wrong. So first you're all like, "Yeah, I'm going to be in a play," and now it's like, now I have to do the work.
Well, you have a rich list of credits. You've done other work at the Playhouse.
I go where the shows are.
Yeah.
You want to do a diverse resume of shows wherever they are. You can do here. Luckily, I live in central Los Angeles, where I can go do shows out on the West Side, Orange County, Long Beach, Hollywood. You just want to go to where the good shows are and where they'll hire you.
Your career is acting. This is not recreational for you. This is what you do. And how long have you been doing it? When did you first decide you wanted to be an actor?
My freshman year in high school, I took a drama class. It was part, to do it, and they were doing theater games. And it was the first thing that I realized, I'm good at this. I can be funny. I'm not afraid to look stupid, which is, to be an actor, you really have to not be afraid of doing things wrong and falling down and being able to pick yourself up and try it again.
I'm just looking, Oscar and the Odd Couple. I can see that. I can see that.
There are some roles that are just branded on you. You have to be Oscar, Carl. Why? Look at me. And that was very typecast because I am a very slobby guy. No.
And the funny thing happened on the way to the Forum, those characters.
Yeah, I found, I'm classically trained. I went to college. I after a while, you realize, well, if this is what I want to do,
better learn how to do it.
Yeah, can I do it right? I should learn the right way. So I became classically trained, but I found that, comedy came very easy. I took improv classes when I was 19 with the LA Connection, and I'm just a silly guy if you get down to it. I'm the guy who will do a pratfall to get the girls to laugh, I found out early I'm not going to be that ingenue leading man type.
I guess not.
So after a while you realize...
We had Gregory Peck's son on last week, talk about iconic actors.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was not going to be the leading handsome man, so I learned that character roles are actually fun. You get on, you do your shtick, everyone laughs, and you're off before you can screw it up. So I made a career of that, and so then you, like a lot of comedic actors that are relevant today, your Tom Hanks and Steve Martins, they've gone from those wacky comedies into being able to be dramatic because they have that training. Comedy is hard, but for those who find it easy, they actually can do drama too. And so they want to make those moves and be able to do both. And so, hey, here I am, a fun guy, and I'm going to be Willie Loman. Oh my God!
Well, you also do musicals, and I guess you sing. And Gypsy and South Pacific and My Fair Lady. What a rich panoply of work.
Well, you want to be able to, do all kinds of theater. If you're going to do one type of theater, you kind of get pigeonholed. You want to be able to do a lot of this.
I see you as a character out of Guys and Dolls. I have to tell you, one of my favorite shows. I can see you as Benny the Bookmaker, or Big Louie, or whatever his name is.
Give me a hat and I'd like to be a lady tonight.
Marlon Brando.
We even use that show a lot of times because Death of a Salesman also gets stigmatized as being a sad show. You know, it's a sad show. So as the cast, we are actually very lighthearted, and we go, we're doing the Death of a Salesman musical, and you like be a salesman tonight. You know, we've got all the songs and ready to go.
But Carl, you set the tone for what you wanted this production of Death of a Salesman. You didn't want it to be overly heavy. You wanted it to have a lot of activity and a lot of positive parts within this story of...
Yeah. That's part of the vision that we were discussing earlier. What I wanted to emphasize in this particular production was not that this is a sad play, but this is it's life. So it has everything. It has humor. It has lighthearted moments. It has hope. It has despair. And we wanted to be able to flesh that all out so the audience could go through the entire journey and not just sit there feeling depressed. And I don't think the audience does feel depressed in this show. And Willie is actually struggling to stay alive, to do the things that he needs to do. And watching a person struggle is much more interesting than watching a person be sad.
And his father, the character's father, died when he was very young, and he never had someone to tell him how to go into business and how to do that.
No role model. Yeah.
No role model.
Right.
And he so desperately wants to be a role model for his kid.
Right.
But
it's a very, very moving piece for me. I mean, I'm still moved by it. I know exactly what's coming because I've been working on it forever, and I still get my goosebumps and my teary eye. I mean, it's a very, very moving piece.
And that was written by the great playwright Arthur Miller, I think, 1946, and yet it is still fresh today. The issues are real.
Yes.
And there's nothing dated about it.
I know. The characters are, you still relate to them, and the ideas of the play are still relevant, right? Because you have a play needs to challenge you intellectually and wants to move you in some way. So this play does both, in my opinion.
And
still.
we were talking before we went on air, the scene where Willie is trying to get to stay local and not have to hit the road every week.
Right.
And the boss's son is now running the company, and he's not hearing anything of it. And so many people, millions of people are being laid off or terminated or...
Jobs are, a certain person's job is now becoming obsolete, and therefore, technology and, just day-to-day stuff, somebody is not needed in that job anymore because that job doesn't exist. We've moved on. And like Willie Loman is one of those people where it's like, I've been doing this job for so many years, and now that job doesn't even exist anymore because we've moved on from that. Yet he has no other way anywhere else to go.
When you're a salesman, all you can do is try and sell, and he's not meeting great success with it in these last years, but at least he represents the firm, and now the boss is telling him, we don't want you to represent us anymore.
No.
You're out.
When they stop smiling back, it's an earthquake.
Yeah.
That's one of Charlie's lines. And I think this is, every time I hear that, it's like, oh my God, it's so true.
For Willie, his whole way of doing business was the relationships,
the smile,
building relationships with people, coming into the same towns and seeing the same people, and the gratitude and the respect towards each other. And as he got older, all that started to disappear, and it was just cut and dry. How much? What do you got? And I need it now. As opposed to coming in and going out to dinner and smoozing and knowing people. And now nobody knows him, nobody cares.
And what's that powerful line? I'm Willie Loman. I'm Willie Loman.
I am not a dime a dozen.
I'm not a dime a dozen. I'm Willie Loman.
But the sad part is he became a dime a dozen, and not even a dime that anybody needed anymore.
Wow. Yeah. So, but he needed his illusion to keep him going, and then reality collapsed on him. And
he thought that nobody told him what to do. So this is his idea of you go to work for a company all these years, and at the end of the light at the end of the tunnel, you will be rewarded for your hard work.
And that used to be the way. I mean, people would work for the same firm for 30, 40, 50 years. I taught at the university, and And that's no longer. You have to be prepared today to be in business for yourself, me incorporated.
Yes.
Or be able to jump ship and go
and
wherever.
work for discrete assignments at different firms. But there's no it's not cradle to the grave employment anymore, which it used to be.
Yeah. You'd work for a firm for 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
They give you a gold
They give you
watch.
the watch.
You retire, and then you've built something. Nowadays, it's like,
Yeah.
you're there, and they're moving on, and they're letting people go as they move on.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to take a pause now, but we'll be continuing with this discussion after these messages.
How do you like your chances the rest of the way?
I got no idea. But I do know that if we stay with Naples Rib Company, at least we won't go hungry.
Coach, what do you think about some of those questionable calls tonight?
Oh, yeah. But if you want a sound call, I'd call Naples Rib Company. You can't miss on that call.
Then Naples Rib Company is part of your game plan?
There really is nothing more motivating than a great barbecue meal at Naples Rib Company.
Victory or not, Naples Rib Company, great game plan.
Founded in 1976, Polly's Gourmet Coffee is Southern California's most complete gourmet coffee store. Polly's has the best tasting coffee, freshly roasted every day right in the store, plus a wide selection of teas, an in-house bakery, espresso bar, patio dining, and more. We also offer Wi-Fi, free internet access for all of our customers. Our nationwide clientele agree when it comes to coffee, there's only one name to remember, Polly's, 4606 East 2nd Street, welcoming you into Belmont Shore.
When I was a boy growing up in Italy, I had a dream to own my own store. I came to the United States and I worked hard as a tailor. Hi, I'm Umberto. I've been in Long Beach since 1960, carrying the finest quality men's clothing. Italy's a long way away, but styles are just around the corner. Umberto, 2141 Bellflower, Long Beach.
When you have enough internet speed for everyone in your home, Mom can video chat with Grandma. Your daughter can check her favorite sites. Your son can conquer the galaxy, and you'll still have enough bandwidth to conquer your first warrior pose.
I'm alright.
As you further energize your back, drop
Get internet speed starting at 60 megabits per second with Charter Spectrum. Where will it take you?
Okay, we're back with this wonderful discussion with director Carl De Silva and actor Carl Schott. Show business is an exciting field to be in, and what do you look for in the future in your career, Carl, with a C?
Yes. Well, I hope to direct other wonderful pieces like this. I mean, this is my hobby, and so I combine all my golf hours into one production a year. And my expectation is to do more of exactly this. Hopefully with a cast as good as this and with a piece as good as this.
Wonderful. And Carl, you have a rich career, and where do you see yourself going?
Well, you finish this show, and then you go on to the next show. You audition, and whatever show you get involved in, then you go, okay, bam, I'm locked into this. Now let's start digging that one apart. It's like a little treasure hunt every show. You get the show, and then you start tearing apart and see what you can find.
You put all this work in, 5 or 6 weeks of rehearsal, you do the show for 4 weeks, and then it's all gone. It disappears into the vapor, and then you have to start again on something else.
You start all over again. But that's the exciting thing. It's like, oh, I've conquered this, or did I? But now you put that away and go, now you.
Does the cast become kind of like a family and bond after opening night, or it's
Very much so. Very much so. It's exactly that. It's we do a lot of things together, and the amount of contact is huge because we're working on it, 14, 15 hours a week for 5, 6 weeks, and then the run. So.
And I'm told that even very successful actors with big names, they don't work a lot of the 365 days. They're always looking for work. Is that true?
I mean, I'm leaving here, and I got to go to Burbank to an audition, and then I got to come back and do the show tonight. So it's, you're always constantly in that chase.
And Carl, you have to have a tough constitution because you're always auditioning and applying, and you're not always getting the roles.
No.
And if no is the answer, and you're going to be devastated by the no, you're in the wrong business.
That's correct. You have to be very good at accepting rejection.
I go to an audition, I do it, and then I go do something else. You completely forget it until if they call you, they call you. If they don't, you forgot all about it.
Great attitude.
Yeah.
Great attitude about it. And I read a wonderful book years ago, The 4 Agreements, and one of the 4 principles of living is don't take anything personally.
You can't.
If they don't want you for Willie, the hell with them. Go on, right?
I learned a long time ago. I used to do when I do Gypsy, another musical, and I would do Herbie's, and I learned that Gypsy, kind of like Death of a Salesman, you need that one character, your Mama Rose. Once you have that Mama Rose, then you build your cast around it. Now I can be the best Herbie, but if I don't fit that Mama Rose, I'm not in it, and I have no control over that. So.
And therefore, don't take it personally.
Exactly.
It has nothing to do with you. It's the other thing. Okay. We'll be back with the rest of our show after these messages.
Phil Trainees mixes California style with continental cuisine that includes fresh seafood from around the world. Since Phil is the chef, the menu has a wide variety of pastas, salads, soups, and appetizers that feature his unique personal touch. And the Italian-American signature dishes are simply beyond delicious. You never know who you're going to run into at Trainees, from the famous sports legends on the Wall of Fame to local celebrities having a drink at the bar. For the best fine dining experience, visit Phil Trainees.
At Performance Plus Tire, you'll find we carry Toyo tires. For over 50 years, Toyo has been a world leader in the development of high-quality tires. Optimum performance, safety, and a comfortable ride. That's what makes Toyo tires great. And now come into Performance Plus Tire for a great deal on these Toyo tires. Proxys ST, Open Country AT, and Proxys 4. Toyo tires, driven to perform. Come in today and we'll install new Toyo tires on your vehicle while you wait. Performance Plus Tire on Cherry Avenue, 1 mile north of the 405 in Long Beach.
You've been planning this moment for a long time. It couldn't be a more perfect moment. And you have the perfect ring that will tell her, I want to love you forever. But nothing is perfect.
Don't listen to that guy. He got the ring at McCarty's.
McCarty's makes a moment.
The arts are such an important part of a life, and we're so lucky to have entities in town like the Long Beach Playhouse, Musical Theater West, ICT, and others where you can see really good theater right here in Long Beach. And guys, thank you for what you do to add to this wonderful mix. And we have a few minutes for final thoughts, Carl.
Well, no, just thank you very much, Art, for this opportunity, and I hope everyone at home gets to come out and watch the show. You're not going to be sad. You're going to be moved and challenged intellectually, and it's really a wonderful experience.
Thanks, Carl, and Carl with a K.
I say it's a good chance to come out and see live theater, and it is an old classic, but I tell people to come rediscover it because you've read it in high school, you probably read it in college, and to actually see it alive on stage this way, it's, you're supporting literature, you're supporting the arts.
Gentlemen, thank you both for bringing your talents to right here at Straight Talk, and thank you at home for being our guest. Please join us next week for the next edition of our show. Good night, everyone.
Straight Talk has been brought to you by the Port of Long Beach, the Press Telegram, and Scan Health Plan. And remember, Straight Talk is viewable 24/7 at straighttalktv.com.